Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your hosts, Bobbi Decker and Buddy Sopay of Sotheby's International Realty, provide education and insights important to buyers and sellers locally, nationally, and globally. Selling your home to a foreign buyer or a new recent transplant to your area? Contemplating a second home or a vacation property somewhere else? Looking to find a solid investor market area? Then this show is for you. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your hosts, Bobbi Decker and Buddy Sopay.
And welcome. Today we're covering a topic near and dear to everybody's hearts, and that's vacation properties. And why are we doing that? We're doing it because the 2017 NAR Investment and Vacation Home Buyer Survey came out, and it's full of great stuff, Joe.
Wonderful.
It tells what the car numbers are, how some of our special, well, you know we talk about vacation homes and properties all the time. So welcome, fearless leader.
Yes, yeah, and you know, my topic, I love vacation. I can talk vacation. And, of course, I'm sitting alongside the two people that have got it mastered. Are you kidding me?
No.
These people.
That was
that's work.
That was a march across the desert.
That is true.
Jungles.
Jungles.
Central America.
True.
That is true. I'll have to edit that comment a little bit. They do travel a lot, but there's a lot on business, and they always bring back some wonderful insight and information. So we have a great show planned for you today. Just a reminder, the show's Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. A lot of things we want to try to make sure everybody keeps in mind here. So Monday through Friday, 3 to 4, you could tune in on your radio, KDOW 1220 AM. Also, real important, if you're listening online, anywhere during the time of 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time, of course, you could tune. If you go online, you go to kdow.biz, click on the button that says Listen Live. You can listen anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are in the United States, out of the country, no matter what, long as it's this time during the day. And then more importantly, the podcast, it's been growing tremendously. We're really excited about that. Make sure you download the podcast. You can follow us anywhere, anytime. You could do that by going to iTunes, type in Real Estate Radio Live, or go to our website, Real Estate. You go to reradiolive.com. You can get the podcast there as well. And real important on Fridays, remember, every Friday we have the three of us on the show and a lot of great information. Bobbi and Buddy continue to do their research, due diligence. There's a lot of great, exciting information that we're going to bring to you every Friday, so be sure to tune in. And lastly, make sure you visit Bobbi's website. That is BobbiDecker.com, BobbiDecker.com, because Bobbi not only has the blogs, right, Buddy? A lot of good video information.
Totally. Yeah.
That's the place to go. Again, if you guys want to know anything about real estate, buying, selling, even more importantly, maybe you have some people that are coming in from other countries, vice versa. That's the place you want to be. Anything else about the website other than the blogs, the videos?
Just that we don't capture you. A lot of people are now saying, you know, you're capturing all my information and you're sending me all the stuff I don't want. We don't do that. This is meant to provide information, Joe, from our radio show, from everything else that we do to consumers. Right. And then if they like what they read and they like the information they have, or they have other questions, they can contact Buddy and I.
They can subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to. So
subscribe.
You're saying you're not going to throw a net on them when they come to your website? Or
sometimes it says, we'll give you the information if you put in your DNA. We're not going to do that. We never have. We never will.
All right. So that's the place to listen. Keep in touch with us. And then, of course, real quick before we get on with the show, during the show, live portion, 1-800-516-1220 if you want to chime in or give us any questions during the show. With that, I will turn it over to Buddy. So what are we up to this week? Where are we going?
Well, I'm gonna actually let Bobbi give you all the where we're going, because I just want to say one more time, because we mentioned it last week, and we're starting to run a little low on some of the brochures about that questionnaire for offshore.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in
good point.
in looking at offshore property, either for a vacation home or an investment type of property, or maybe full retirement property, give us a shout, and we'll get you a copy of the questionnaire. And then we have a booklet that goes along with the questionnaire, kind of digs in a little deeper. So you can get me. There's some information on the screen, but it's buddy@bobbydecker.com works fine. And you can call me at 650-533-8790. I'll let Bobby jump in on the topic of the day because she's all excited about this fabulous report.
Well, it's a great report because you like to know what's going on. And we get so tainted here in Silicon Valley. We're talking about vacation homes. People are thinking 700, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and the average price is not that in the United States. So I get excited when I find out that this is what the people want to do. The quick analysis, it just goes over all of the percentages, Joe, in this booklet, which is really cool. If you want it, I'll electronically send it to you.
Good idea.
Okay, just get Bobby at Bobby Decker or Buddy at Bobby Decker because we have electronic copies of all of it. Don't we have that for the offshore guide as well?
Only
sort
partially.
Of? Only partially,
yeah.
Okay. Well, they did an online sample of 2,099 adults last year who purchased homes, and this was for 2016. And it says it still impacts first-time buyers. That rose 35%, but our shortages are really creating havoc in the market. You know that, Joe, because you have to get the loans together. Okay, the share of buyers who purchased a primary residence rose for the third year to 70%, which is cool. The share of vacation homes declined for the third straight year because of inventory issues. It went from 16 to 12. And then you've got this at almost a historical low.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, is it that the predominantly vacation-type areas, it's the same thing, low inventory? So people just don't have the options?
Well, I think in a lot of places around the country that might be the issue, but I'm not so certain that that's the case here.
Oh, here, okay.
In California.
I think the case here, Buddy, is the affordability factor, and you said that last week.
Well, not only affordability, but I also think there's a situation with the scenario where people have to buy their first home at a rather expensive pricing.
That's
right?
a good point.
Rather expensive. And so when I bought my first vacation home way back when, it's when the kids come along and you want to have a good place for them on the water or something like that. When somebody has to invest $1.5 million to get into their first home, that can put them in a situation that says, I'm not certain that I'm going to have that extra cash or credit worthiness or even time in some cases to go to that vacation home. And because California has not followed the path on the kind of the national average. We're behind that. And that's my interpretation of it. And I know Bobby was going to mention that, but that's my interpretation of it. We're a little bit behind from the standpoint of the amount of vacation properties that we're buying these days.
And I think you had that too, agreeing on those numbers, Joe.
I do, yeah. I mean, those numbers, let's talk about them real quickly. As a percentage, vacation owners in California has run between 10 to 16% total of home purchases. And then nationally, that average runs about 10 to 21% over the past 5 years. So that's correct. Yeah.
So they're up there further than we are.
Right.
And so there's an issue there. And the reality of it is there's going to be some vacation home scenarios about where people go. So we don't have as much oceanfront property as some places.
Running out of space.
Yeah, we're running out of space. There's not a whole lot that's available. We have a lot of wonderful land that's protected, but we don't necessarily have kind of all the little outlying islands that you find on the East Coast and all the places you can go.
When they do, what is that, beachfront bargain hunt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on HGTV. That's fun.
Okay. I'm going, I want to go there. And next thing you hear, there's a hurricane.
Well, I'm going to throw a loaded question out there. Where in the world do you find a beachfront property for less than $200,000?
Oh, we're going back to last week again. In Nicaragua.
You really listened good, Joe.
All right. In Nicaragua and Belize.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where they have little golf carts. Belize is cute.
Yeah,
it is a cutie pie.
I'm not sure Belize proper you're going to get anything under $200,000 on the water, but certainly
Nicaragua.
In Nicaragua, I think you're going to find that some of the opportunities in Panama are probably going to be okay. And when ECI gets to the east coast of Costa Rica, we'll have to see where the markets are at that point in time. But they may be in that price range too, but Costa Rica's really jumped up over the years recently.
Mm-hmm.
But let's put a few more statistics on it. 57% of the people that do buy ocean or lakefront.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody loves the water, and we're actually going to have an open house at Two Bears Dancing this weekend up in Twain Har.
Okay.
And they've got a beautiful lake there, and it's got a floating yurt on it, and I'll be looking forward to dive off the platform into the lake this weekend. That'll be great. 20% are go to country homes, and we've got some more specs coming up for you soon. But that's the California average, and actually across the United States is pretty much the same.
Well, I have to tell you that 21% do go for small towns. And I'll tell you what's driving that, Joe. They're going for the towns where there are universities because the boomers want to retire there. So they're kind of getting the best of two worlds. They've got the university where they can take the language or perhaps the arts, the artsy-fartsy things they could never take in college because they had to go get a job, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking at that, and they're looking at the affordability. It's really driving those university towns.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Driving them very well. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue talking about vacation properties near and far. We have a lot of great information for you. If you want to check in a couple different ways, 1-800-516-1220. And then, Bobby, if anybody has a question, text, comment, what's the best place to reach you?
Text me 650-346-5352.
Very good. All right, we're going to continue. We come back. Joe Kuchera sitting alongside Bobby and Buddy. We're going to continue talking about the properties near and far. We'll be back with you to continue in just a couple of minutes. For those people watching Facebook, we'll continue our conversation, right?
Right.
We got some fun stuff to talk about.
We do.
All right, we'll be back with you live in a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all three services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your hosts for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Bobby Decker and Buddy Sopet.
And welcome back. It's Bobby Decker, and I'm going to give you a little information before we hop over and continue our conversation. If you want to email Joe, you do joe@RERadiolive.com. If you want to text him a question with regards to financing, it's 408-838-9060. And then blogging is www.RERadiolive.com. And if you want to contact me, you can get me at either Bobby at BobbyDecker.com or 650-346-5352, or visit our website, BobbyDecker.com. And then hotline, the hotline for the show, 1-800-516-1220. And that's if you want to ask a question while we're up here talking away.
Could you repeat all those numbers?
No. Absolutely not.
I've got some more numbers.
Former teacher, if you listen up, I'm not
right.
repeating.
Get it the first time, otherwise you're lost.
That's right, you're lost. You're going to flunk.
All right, I've got some numbers. They're not telephone numbers, though. So we kind of broke away at the end with some of the breakouts of the percentages of where the ocean, or I mean, where the vacation buyers are buying. So we mentioned that the 57% total for ocean and lake, 36% of that are about half, or a little more than half, actually, of that was about ocean. And about 25% of the people that buy on the ocean are actually timeshares or residence programs. They're pretty popular because if you really can't afford that, that $800,000 beach house, then at least you can get your 3 or 4 weeks with some of these various
We've
programs.
had a lot of fun with that with the Marriott. They've got that down to a science.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. We get our 3 weeks in the Marriott at the beginning of the year, get some business planning done, have a little bit of fun.
Joe doesn't believe us.
Well, come on, Joe. How many radio shows do we do from there, right?
You do.
You right?
You guys have got the schedule. It's good.
Well, you were there last year, too.
That's
Come on.
true.
You can't, and yours was purely vacation.
That is a good point.
So
It doesn't.
the pot
Trust us.
should not call the kettle black. Here,
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right. Joe gets his golf in. Remember, this is the man whose lifestyle is golf.
That is true.
Yeah. So 14% of the people are actually mountain. There are mountain people. We had a conversation with one of the gentlemen that was with us in Central America. He was a mountain only, 7% are ranch, and then the rest are probably condos, hither and yon. So, so that's all my numbers for the moment.
Well, I'll give you some of the whys. In California, 42% of the vacation homes are for family retreats. That's why they tend to be a little bit larger and on the lakes. You can wrap the 14% mountain, 21% lake, and 42% family where it exists in our one property we have at Twainhart known as Two Bears Dancing, and they got that name because she thought she saw, or did she actually see
She
two
saw
bears?
two
bears,
cubs.
two little cubs
That's
kind of
cute.
playing in the
Playing on the property.
It's, very, very nice. But the thing is that families grow up, because people are always saying, well, why are they selling? Families grow up, and they move away, and now they want to go to where those kids are. Because, once they become teenagers, Joe, you've been through this.
Oh, yeah.
They want to go where they want to go.
They got some other place to go.
Right. Suddenly the zip line isn't as zippy as it used to be. So Twainhart and Gold Country are mountainous, and one of the 3 yurts is actually floating on a private lake that brings in the lakefront.
There's a picture that's rotating behind us with one of those pictures of the lake and the treehouse yurt.
Right.
Yeah.
That is quite spectacular.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That was built by our yurt master. And then main house and all the outbuildings make it really it was a fabulous and will be for another family that's got little ones. Family retreat is it.
If you start packing them in, you can probably get 20, 25 people to sleep over.
And then there's all that history that kids love. The Indians, the Miwoks used to be here. They used to have their seance circles, and they even have a yurt that's still the meeting house yurt, right? Where they used to have the big, fantastic property.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I love this property. I mean, it's perfect, as you guys mentioned. Before we go too far, though, we're talking about this, I want to make sure we don't all assume everybody knows what a yurt is. So maybe you guys could take a minute just to explain to those listeners.
Ta-da!
They're probably going, yurt? Yurt?
No, well, so you probably want to look it up.
That's a good point.
Basically, it's a round structure, and it's supported, in essence, by the walls of the round structure actually hold up the ceiling. It's pretty amazing what they can do with just some bracing and some wiring that wraps around. So the pressure of the roof down on this round structure actually just kind of holds it all in place very, very successfully. So they've got, of the 3 yurts, there's one that's all made of wood. That's the treehouse yurt. And that was Mr. Copperwaite, who was actually had a Ph.D. in yurt building. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But he came from the East Coast and helped them build this beautiful treehouse. And then they had a crane and put it up in the tree. The meeting house yurt is a place where you can put lots of chairs, have people in, or sleeping bags, cots, whatever you want. And then on the lake, that's the one I really love that.
I love that.
because you sleep there, Joe. There's a beautiful double bed. It has all the facilities.
A huge skylight.
And a skylight.
You can watch the moon pass by. You know who is mesmerized by that?
Who's that?
My dog, Honey Bun. You haven't lived until you've seen a Maltese
I don't think the
get
Facebook
mesmerized.
audience has been introduced to Honey Bun yet.
No, but they will be next time.
All right, good.
Not next week, because remember, I'm in Chicago on business.
Joe
But the
and
week after that,
right.
Honey Bun will be here in her regalia.
Maybe we should...
we'll put a
We'll
throw a picture.
We'll throw a photo up there. But she could not take her eyes off the moon and the stars because she'd never seen that before.
So if you're listening live today, we are going to have an open house up there. You can come see these beautiful tree houses in the gorgeous main house. I have to tell you, it's just spectacular with a spiral staircase, a cupola over the master suite that lets in all the light, just perfect. It's 18001, 1801 Bonanza Road in Twainhart from 1 to 4 on Sunday, October the 29th. So it's 18001 Bonanza Road, Twainhart from 1 to 4 on Sunday the 29th. So come on up. If you have some questions, as I mentioned before, you can give me a call, 650-533-8790, or Buddy at BobbyDecker.com. It'd be great. We'll keep you posted on everything that's going on. But if you really want to see a very interesting vacation property, 5 acres of fabulous fun, come join us on Sunday. And if you happen to listen to this podcast later on and Sunday's gone by, give us a shout. We'll give you a status of how things are going there.
Cool. Well, I know that we're coming up short on this segment as well, Joe, so I'm not going to jump into all of the other percentages that I have. We'll leave them waiting for this information.
Well,
but you're also going to have a chance to talk about financing.
That's right.
Too.
We're going to talk about financing.
Yeah, these vacation homes don't
buy themselves.
They don't come cheap, and so getting a mortgage, high percentage of the people
I think
have
mortgages really, and you remember I've got to teach that class for NAR, mortgages really help the ROI because you can buy more.
Right. Well, I've said for years, and I think most people, when they understand it, the idea of a mortgage and financing a property, the beautiful part is you're investing into an appreciable asset, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you have a $300,000 mortgage on $1 million home, guess what? That appreciation is off the value of the home, not the value of the loan. So really what you have is you're investing in an appreciating asset. And that's a beautiful part about financing.
Isn't that great? Yes.
Especially at the interest rates today, which are still really, really good. So, yeah, I mean, the financing, I'll tell you, don't fool yourself. Next year rates are going to go up. And I don't say that to scare people, but to educate you in the form that if you're going to do any financing, thinking about this right now, take it under consideration. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation on this beautiful topic about far and near and far.
Vacation home.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love vacations? Come
we
on.
all love vacations.
Jump on board.
All right.
All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Joe Kuchera sitting alongside Bobby and Buddy. Thanks for those people tuning in. Stay with us. We'll be back live in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Bobby Decker is a recognized veteran of the real estate industry with 30 years of assisting clients to buy and sell property. Educating the public through her television programs, radio interviews, web streaming, websites, and newspaper articles helps people gain valuable knowledge that makes them better suited to accomplish their home ownership or sales goals. Ms. Decker is a vice president at today's Sotheby's International Realty, part of the global family, with 660 offices in 47 countries. She provides extensive marketing resources and services to her clients that have a wide set of needs, from selling properties on the San Francisco Mid-Peninsula and Silicon Valley to trophy ranches and vacation properties in the Sierra Foothills. When clients have needs in other parts of America or the world, she can refer them to other Sotheby's International Realty or Sotheby's Auction House locations. Contact Bobby at BobbyDecker.com. That's BobbyDecker.com. Or call 650-346-5352.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your hosts for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Bobbi Decker and Buddy Sopet.
And welcome back for this third section of our vacation homes, or here and there and close and far, and depending on what you want. There's so much to choose from. It's just deciding what basically floats your boat, right? Mm-hmm. What do you like to do? I mean, taking you to the mountains and away from golf for a week would not be considered a vacation for Joe.
After some of my golf games, I should probably go and retreat for a while.
I didn't realize they'd been on a downturn. I wouldn't have been mean enough to bring it up.
But I'm not going to get anybody to feel sorry for
Suddenly we're doing our meditation.
That's right.
Okay, well, then I'm going to just jump in. Well,
okay.
You know, we talked about the properties in Central America. That's an up-and-coming place for sure. But 18% of the people who do buy vacation vacation property, Freudian slip, they will turn it into their primary residence later on down the road, Joe. So they're looking to the future, and they usually keep it about 9 years, believe it or not. Now, when you have families that start building, and it's a large enough home to support them, then they keep it for a while, and they'll pass it on maybe 15, 20 years.
That's probably why some of those places you're talking about in the Midwest and the East Coast, there's not a lot of inventory available because they stay in the families.
They do. They do. All we have to look is like at Rhode Island, Buddy, all of those great big mansions. Those have stayed in the family. They're not going anywhere.
Yep.
The Astors and everybody else.
But even the small places. I rented some places
That's
up
true.
in Maine.
That's true. I know your friends have.
And their family. You have to know the family in order to be able to rent the property from them, because they just won't. It's their place, and they're just not going to let it open to everybody and anybody.
And then nearly 30% see their vacation properties as partially or greatly paying for themselves with rental income, depending on if they're going to rent it like an Airbnb, or are they just going to do monthly, or are they going to rent it to the people who work there. I mean, there's some people we know in Maui, and they actually have long-term tenants that work right in Lahaina.
Yeah. So lots of different variations as to who, how, when, and where. So.
And then 12%, Joe, before I give you the stage, 12% bought it because it was a good deal.
There you go.
You can't miss those 12%.
Got to get the deals.
But if you think about that, I mean, what we're talking about in Central America, some of the properties that they bought, nobody's living in them. They rent them. They just bought them because they were a good deal, and they can rent them out and make a few bucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big fan of being creative and thinking out of the box. And as we're talking about this topic, you guys, one of the things that just popped in my mind was, financing. So a lot of people, one of the things that holds people back from second homes, vacation homes, things like that is, I don't know if the $200,000, $300,000 down, does it make sense? Am I going to be here that long? I mean, one of the things I think people should entertain is maybe doing partnerships, right? If you could find 3 or 4 families or maybe some partners where you go in on something like this and you share it and you partially rent it. I mean, I just like to talk about options and possibilities and get out of that little tiny square box and realize that there are different ways to access to purchase properties.
Well, people ask me that all the time, Joe. How difficult is it for them? Can they get financing when they have partners? Because
absolutely.
You have to all have good FICOs, yes?
Yeah, I think it's strange. It's a different concept for people because they don't understand it. But, honestly, whether you guys, I'm working with a married couple, 2 single people, or let's just say 5 couples decide to buy a house together, a vacation home, it's no different. It's obviously everybody has to do their own separate application, but then you just jointly put, you blend everybody together. Their ratios, their debt to income, all that gets blended together. And I think, I don't see enough of this, and I think certainly we should do a show on this sometime where it specifically talks about all the different ways, people could do this, because in some ways you're missing out.
Yeah, I think so. You brought this up, and one of our dear friends in the business sold one last year to 5 people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
A big one over by the ocean.
They had some issues because one of them didn't have really great credit, and I think they took them off. Yeah. And after close of escrow, may have put them back on it, But that's what I'm just thinking. Yeah. That's a great show, but because I would love to know: do you qualify them on the whole thing? Do you qualify them on their 1/5? How you do that and really get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to sidetrack too much, but I just thought that
when
we're talking about vacation homes, what other ways do people have? Because I think a lot of people get discouraged. Well, I'd love to buy a vacation home, but I can't.
Well, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
If you think outside the box, you may well be able to. And right here in California at the moment, we still have some bargains.
Mm-hmm.
We were up in Gold Country with some ranch work, and we were near Pine Mountain Lake.
Oh, yeah.
The homes there
Beautiful.
are very inexpensive.
They are.
And they have a golf course.
I do. I'm familiar with that golf course.
I know you are.
They have a big lake.
Uh-huh.
They have little boats out on that big lake.
Yes.
It's all
And they have an
beautiful.
airport.
And they have an airport.
That's a good
There was
point.
a pre-designed community way back when by Weyerhaeuser, and it's a cool little place, and it's a gated community.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go inside. Yes, there's some homes in the $8, $9, and $1 million range, but there's some in the $200,000 to $300,000 to $400,000. And if you come to Joe and get a good mortgage, why not? Get them before they go up, because they're not building any more vacation sites here in America. Now you want to go to Central America where we were. The options are wide open, but not necessarily here in the United States.
And I have to tell you, I just read it in the Wall Street Journal. Ta-da! Drum roll. That it's the high-end investor, the high-end person that wants to buy money markets, Joe, that's starting to drive this interest rate increase. Isn't that an interesting thing? They just don't want that 0.01% return on their money. So it's slowly eking, and the pressures come from areas you don't even think of. You think, the Fed's never going to raise it. You don't know the politics going on behind there. There's a lot of politics in the world if you haven't noticed.
There are a lot of politics. I liken it to these low rates. I mean, everybody loves them. And hopefully, everybody took advantage of them or have continued to take advantage of them. But it really is like a bunch of we're on this low rate drug.
Yeah,
and it feels so good, right? And I tell people all the time, just be careful, because when they go up, they'll go up quick. And I think for the last 10 or 12 years, we were used to having it come down, and the thought is it'll always stay down. I'm just saying that, make your decisions sooner than later, because I do think, as we're sitting here this time next year, you guys, I do think there's a chance that the rates could be about 1% higher. It could be 4 3/4 to close to 5%. And the three of us might say, well, it's not too bad. We've seen 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Right, we have. I saw 18.
Yeah, so those things could happen again.
Yes,
they could happen again.
And it's the factors driving it that are a little stranger than they were before, because there's so much money in the top tier, Joe.
Right.
Just today, I was looking at an article. How many more billionaires are there coming out of China and India?
Amazing.
There was a jump of 23% new billionaires.
117 new billionaires in China.
And how many with us?
23 in the United States.
Right, only 5%. And then Europe was flat.
Yeah.
Europe was flat. They didn't go down, but they were flat. So
there's a lot of money in motion.
Innovation, and they're going to drive the rules.
God, that's amazing.
Isn't it?
Do you remember when years ago when the only billionaires and rich people you talked about seemed to be around oil and things like
the
that?
Texans,
right?
Yes, you got to love them.
And now you see these very average people walking around in their jeans and their T-shirts that are worth billions.
Yeah.
They are.
And they're hoodies.
And there's a lot of money changing hands through death.
That's a good point.
A lot.
That's a really good point.
A lot.
Yeah.
There's one where a family lives very modestly in Tennessee or Kansas or something like that, and they're probably going to come into $6 million. I heard at a gathering we were at. And what are they going to do with it? They've lived modestly their whole life, Joe. So it's a lot of money changing hands. But back to Joe's loans, because he's the best lender ever. We're 73% of the people who bought second homes used mortgages.
Used mortgages. It makes sense. Most people do want to secure a mortgage on these properties. One of the reasons, the main reasons, let's face it, is that regardless of how intelligent you are with money or how much money you have, most people would say, use the mortgages to your benefit. And it may sound nice, and maybe if money is unlimited, and we've talking about all these billionaires, you guys, but that's a small percentage,
Very
right?
small.
90% of the population still needs to get a mortgage, and should get a mortgage. And if you don't need one, that's fine. But there's really keep in mind that there's good debt and bad debt. And I would argue that a mortgage is good debt, especially if it's on your primary residence. Today, right now, as long as the government doesn't do anything, it's tax deductible. Your 100% of your interest is deductible, and there are also some tax benefits on second homes. And rental properties, again, we're not CPAs or tax experts, but that's something you want to check with your CPA and tax experts on. But the point is, leveraging, I love the fact that you're leveraging that asset. That's the beautiful part. I've used that analogy before, you guys. If you take $100,000,
you're 100%
you take $100,000 and you put it in a stock market or buy a stock, you have $100,000 worth of stock. You take $100,000, you put it down on $1 million purchase, you have $1 million appreciating asset, right? That asset goes up 10%. Guess what? 10% of $1 million. This goes up 10%. It's 10% of 100,000.
That's right. Oh, that was a great analogy. I bet you've done that more than once or twice.
4 times. All right. You can tell I'm passionate about that. Here we go.
Truly.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to keep harassing you, tell you buy some more second homes and vacation homes. Joe Kuchera sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. If you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220. That's 1-800-516-1220. And before we take our first break, again, anything else about that you guys have on the property this weekend? Otherwise, come and see you.
Yep, come see us.
Is it on your website, Bobbi?
Absolutely.
Well, just remember it, 18001 Bonanza in Twainhart. Come on Sunday.
Right.
All right, for those Facebook crowds, keeping an eye on us, stay with us. We're going to continue having a little chat, and we're going to take our last break. We'll be back with you to finish up on the live portion in just a couple minutes.
Program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera, host of Real Estate Radio Live and Bay Area Mortgage Planner. In addition to being your home financing expert, please remember you could always contact me for other trusted advisors such as realtors, financial planners, and CPAs. Please feel free to contact me at 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060, or email joe at RERadiolive.com, or visit my website at RERadiolive.com for more details.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your hosts for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Bobbi Decker and Buddy Sopé.
And hello and welcome back. Final segment. It goes by fast, guys.
It sure did.
No, we need to give them some more information. I know they're not calling in live. We'll get them calling in live, Joe. But if they have any questions for you, they can email Joe at RERadiolive.com. You can go on and see the blog at RERadiolive.com. And then any questions or any texts you'd like to send Joe, you do 408-838-9060. The hotline here is 1-800-516-1220. And if you want to get in touch with me with a text, 650-346-5352. And that's it.
That's it. Before you get started back again, Buddy made a good point during the break. We got to make sure our listening audience via the radio, and so we have via the radio, but also those that are out there, thank you very much. First of all, they're listening on the radio, Facebook, no matter where you are. And then also the people online that are checking in online. Remember, you could go to Facebook, just like thousands of people are today. Going to Facebook, just log into your Facebook account, type in Real Estate Radio Live. You'll find us. Friend us. That's probably the best way to do it. That way you could follow us even closer. And you can watch the show this way, and you can actually interact. We just want to make sure with the world, is moving as quickly as it does, you guys, what type, all these options for people. So again, if you're listening to us on the radio, thank you very much. We appreciate that. If you're listening to us via website, thank you. Online, but also remember there is the Facebook.
Come see us.
Go to listen. Come see us.
That's
even
right.
Better.
We're going to have the little puppy doodles here because she really is part of this family.
And some
She's
people
been
might
with the program.
Yeah, that's right. They should. Some people might be thinking, it's bad enough I got to listen to Joe. You want me to look at him too? That's what they might be thinking.
Well,
the three of us. Now we'll have a diversion by the name of Honey Bun. That's good. That's good. So I'm going to get back into
maybe we shouldn't bring this up, Joe.
No.
Oops.
Whoops.
Okay.
Just listen. Just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen.
So we're going to get back a couple of more stats on
Okay.
vacation homes so we can wind this up. And if we didn't cover something and you want more information, I promise you Joe will be doing the financing segment. It just takes much longer than we have when we're trying to combine the two. So he will just specifically do that.
And we're going to do the investor segment, too.
Right.
Exactly.
In a future show.
Exactly.
From
So
this
one
report.
more interesting fact is these vacation homes are not necessarily nearby, Joe. They're 21% are actually more than 1,000 miles away. And they tend to go from coast out. So if you're living on the East Coast, you tend to go down to the Virgin Islands and St. Bart's and all of the and Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But of course, they were destroyed by the hurricane, so that's why Belize is sitting there
it's gonna be hot this year.
polishing their little golf cart, saying, "Yay, they're coming!"
Yeah, there was only 4 islands that did not get affected by the
they really
hurricanes,
did.
and Belize is one of those.
That's why it looks like they're being
Ambergris Key on
Yes, Ambergris
right off Belize. Their island did not get hit at all because of the, and apparently they don't get hit very often at all anyway. The reefs out there that helps to protect them from
But
big
that's where the
storms.
blue hole is, Joe. If you were wondering what their diving area everybody talks about,
Just
it's
what a picture.
spectacular.
What a picture. We had that
I
on,
wish I were a
we
diver.
had that on as the background last week when we were talking about Central America.
It was just, I mean, Buddy and I snorkel, so we did get to see the reefs and all, and they're quite beautiful. But then if you go offshore here from San Francisco, that's the reason that we tend to go to Hawaii. You put your bags on the plane, and then it's nonstop, and you take your bags off when you get there.
Yeah, and then Puerto Vallarta in Mexico.
Yes, very much.
And there's some more areas in Mexico that are opening up. You still have to be very careful because some of the laws and the title issues in Mexico are not quite as crisp as they are in some other areas. And then the Central America that we've been talking about is surprisingly in striking distance, particularly from like the Houston, from Texas and Florida.
And the airlines, the small, like Southwestern is just changing the whole complexion down there, Joe, because the others made it so hard, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus like American. Some of them make it so hard, and coming back through
you mentioned Miami, right?
Miami, and it's just wild.
Well, sometimes they don't make airports for people; they make them for airplanes. And certainly Miami is a classic case. They must have made it only for airplanes.
They forget who flies on those airplanes.
Yeah.
Well, and of course that's a big drive. They say, well, it's tougher in Miami because of drugs and customs is looking. But really, look at the two of us. Do we look like we're peddling drugs? I mean, these poor people are being pulled out of their wheelchairs to be looked at. And, they need to make that a little nicer, or else you come back through Houston and Dallas. People said it's much easier that way.
Yeah.
And there's a nonstop from here, actually San Francisco to Panama.
Oh, wow.
Then you can go to your other little guy.
There you go.
Well,
they're trying very hard to make it
Panama's
easier.
a big international enclave these days.
So we got about a minute or so left. Real important. Just be sure. The message actually we want to get through. We have a lot we didn't cover today, but second homes, vacation homes, they're attainable. They are attainable.
Yeah,
if you think there aren't, contact me or Bobby, any of us. We could talk you through it. Consultation. Believe me, there are more ways than just buying yourself. We talked about it briefly, but main thing is explore it. Look at the opportunities. That's what I would say before we duck out.
You're right there, Joe.
Good opportunity.
Yeah. There's plenty of opportunities and different ways to slice and dice them, and sometimes it's a family retreat. Who can contribute in the family? Maybe there's more than one person.
That's right. All right. Unfortunately, we got to duck out. I want to thank all your listeners, the Facebook audience, the listeners on the radio, the listeners online. Thank you so much. Continue to spread the word. The podcast is growing quickly. Keep it going for us. Thank you very much on behalf of Bobby and Buddy. This is Joe Kuchera. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with you next week.
Have fun out there.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast, discover more. at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.